hymnals if you want to sing along. Winds Be Still. 83.
Good morning and welcome to the Community Church of Chapel Hill, Unitarian Universalist. My name is Bill Rote and I'm a member of the Worship Associates ministry here at the church. Our minister is the Reverend Tom Belote. This morning we have a visiting minister with us. Lóre Stevens is currently the contract minister at the Foothills UU Fellowship in Maryville, Tennessee. Lóre is a graduate of Harvard Divinity School and also has a bachelor's degree and master's degree from Eastern Michigan University. Lóre did her parish internship with the First Universalist Church of Minneapolis. So be sure and welcome her this morning. She'll be around, I think, through coffee hour. We're glad to have her here. Also, we would like to welcome any guests or newcomers to our service. Please refer to the note for guests and newcomers on the back of your order of service. Whoever you are, whomever you love, however you arrived at this beloved place, you're welcome here. And please join us for coffee social just after the service in our community room across the way. Also, please be sure and turn off or silent your cell phones. I would also like to introduce this morning Sharon Parker sitting up front. She's the artist for our March and April artwork in the sanctuary. Her show's entitled Expressing Reality as Felt, and the pieces range from realistic images of French doors and windows to more abstract images of light on water, butterfly wings, and such. She bases her work on her travels and the natural world. She's with us today and will be available after the service to talk about her art, which you can see on the walls. This morning we have a Share the Plate with Reverend Lisa Garcia, who's with UU Justice Ministry of North Carolina. Lisa?
Thank you, Bill. Bill's got a few inches on me. Good morning, everyone. As Bill said, my name is Reverend Lisa Garcia Sampson, and I am first and foremost proud to be the community minister of this congregation and the executive director of our Unitarian Universalist Justice Ministry in North Carolina. We belong to an abundant, loving movement in North Carolina spanning over 80 organizations in our state, and our job as UU Justice NC is to organize our over 24 congregations to make strategic and impactful contributions to that movement. It is our movement that last year expanded Medicaid to over 600,000 people in our state. People said it was never going to happen. We got it over the finish line. It is our movement that will keep fighting until $4.4 billion in desperately needed public school funding is invested in by our state General Assembly. Can I get an amen to this? So that every child, not just children with Chapel Hill zip codes, have what they need to thrive. And it is our movement that in 2024 will register voters and educate voters and turn out voters, because the majority of people in North Carolina want reproductive rights, they want LGBTQ rights, they want a strong democracy, they want funded schools, and we are not going to stop until we get it. This week is the national launch of UU the Vote 2024. Who's ready to UU the Vote? Yes. In 2022, North Carolina UUs came together to make over 70,000 voter contacts through postcards and phone banking. We registered voters, we volunteered at the polls, and that included our involvement with rapid response safety teams who responded to threats at the polls by extremist groups like the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers, and I know that some of you are here today. Thank you for that work. Lives are on the line here, and we are showing up faithfully to be a part of the movement that rejects Christian nationalism, that rejects the hate and the violence that is spreading across our state. This year, I don't need to tell you how high the stakes are. If we needed any more evidence of the centrality of North Carolina in our presidential election this year, we got it this year in the media, did we not? This year, and our UU the Vote campaign in North Carolina can and must be the largest activation of UUs in the history of our state. And it will be. It will be. Because we've proven time and time again that we are getting more skillful, we're in deeper relationship, we're more courageous than we used to be. We're ready to go. And we are better funded than we've ever been before, and that is thanks in part to you. I want to thank this congregation for, in 2023, being the largest congregational contributors to UU Justice NC. Thank you so much. I also want to recognize and thank all of the individual contributors, not only through the Share the Plate, not only through the fundraising happening through this church, but so many of you who are also individual contributors to UU Justice NC. Thanks to you, over the course of the last 4 years, our annual operating budget has gone from $32,000 to $172,000, and it's because of you all. I'm excited to announce that for the first time ever, our UU the Vote 2024 campaign will have a part-time UU the Vote organizer. That's not going to be me. I'll still be in the work, but we're getting help, friends. But real talk, because of our record-breaking fundraising 2023, we now have enough money to fund a UU the Vote organizer for 15 hours a week through the electoral cycle. But if we can do some extraordinary fundraising this spring, through Share the Plates and through grants, we can increase those hours to 20 or 25 hours a week, and today you can help us do that. So please, we're so grateful for your generosity, and thank you for your generosity today. Our moral legacy is on the line in 2024. This year, we will confront the forces of authoritarianism and white Christian nationalism. We will face further erosion of our rights and our democracy, but we are ready. We are ready to go deeper. We are ready to realize our power, and together, as part of an abundant, loving, statewide coalition, we are going to make our grandchildren proud and secure our democracy for their generation. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Would you please stand as you're willing and able in body or spirit and join us in singing our opening hymn, number 39, Bring, O Morn, Thy Music.
Good morning. I am so excited to be here with you all this morning. As Bill said, my name is Lóre Stevens. When I walked in this morning, I realized I've been here before, virtually. I attended Carter Smith's ordination online. Carter was a classmate of mine in divinity school. And, I should say Reverend Carter Smith. And I just want to say thank you all for being such a nurturing congregation to your young people, because I heard glowing things from Carter's youth and experience growing up UU in a congregation like this. So not only thank you for your justice work, as Reverend Lisa said, but thank you for your work with our young people, because that helps make the future a more loving and just place. Thank you. I'd like to invite us to settle in and finish arriving with a call to worship by the poet Annie Dillard. We are here to abet creation and to witness it, to notice each other's beautiful faces and complex nature, so that creation need not play to an empty house.
If you would please join with me in reading the words to our chalice lighting. Flame of fire, spark of the universe that warmed the ancestral hearth, agent of life and death, symbol of freedom, we strive to understand ourselves and our earthly home.
Suggest this is the best part of your life. May I suggest this time is blessed to you. This time is blessed and shining, almost blinding bright. Just turn your head and you'll begin to see the 1,000 reasons that were just beyond your sight. The reasons why I suggest to you, why I suggest this is the best part of your life. There is a world that's been addressed to you, intended only for your eyes. A secret world, a treasure chest to you, of private scenes and brilliant dreams that mesmerize. A tender lover's smile, a tiny baby's hands, the million stars that fill the turning sky at night. Oh, I suggest, yes, I suggest to you, yes, I suggest this is the best part of your life. There is a hope that's been expressed in you, the hope of 7 generations, maybe more. This is the faith that they invest in you. It's that you'll do one better than was done before. Inside you know, inside you'll understand. Inside you know what's yours to finally set right. And I suggest to you, and I suggest this is the best part of your life. This is a song, comes from the west to you, comes from the west, comes from the slowly setting sun. This is a song with a request of you to see how very short the endless days will run. And when they're gone, and when the dark descends, we give anything for one more hour of light. May I suggest this is the best part of your life.
Each week during our service, we have a time to share any joys and sorrows that you may have. If you have a joy or sorrow you would like to share, please come forward, drop a stone in the water, or speak your name into the microphone, and briefly, in a moment or two, share with us your joy and sorrow. May we now enter this time of trust and tenderness.
Hi, I'm Mary Beth Powell, and this is my husband, Bill Rote. And we are thrilled, this is our joy, is that last weekend we went to the airport and picked up my daughter, her husband, their 2 kids, their 2 dogs, all their luggage, because they moved back from Japan permanently. And we drove down to the beach last Sunday and got them all set back up, hopefully in their house that they rented out for 3 years. So we are thrilled to have them back on U.S. soil.
I'm Jeannie Jansen, and I just want to express my appreciation for my son Dave, who came yesterday, figured out how to put a new bulb in 2 out of 3 bathroom lights that were installed in the ceiling that we couldn't figure out. Did a whole bunch of other things for me, and I just think he's wonderful.
Hi, I'm Allison Jesse, and I'm really happy that my sister Jenny is here from Indianapolis visiting. She's the first member of my family to join me here at my relatively new church, and I'm really glad to have her here.
Hi, I'm India, and this is Randall Cothran. This is kind of a bittersweet sorrow for us. This will be our last Sunday with y'all, as we will be leaving Chapel Hill this coming week to go down to Florida and then go up to Brevard. We have enjoyed being in this congregation and visiting with everybody and getting to know you. And we hope to see you again when we come back this week.
We kind of feel like you fostered us. Thanks.
My name is Elizabeth, and my friend Serena's infant received a heart transplant this week.
I place this last stone for all those joys and sorrows that were not mentioned and are kept in your hearts, which are no less important. Let us hold these in a moment of silence.
The words of our meditation are by Andrew Backus. Spirit of life, mysterious power in all creation, we gather before you now, as countless others have before, asking that you make yourself known to us. Let us find you, Spirit of life, in the glories and wonders of the world and in moments of great joy and ecstasy. Let us find you in the comfort of sympathetic hearts. in times of sorrow. Let us find you in the commonplace, in that which we touch every day. Let us find you in the familiar, in those whom we touch every day. Let us find you in ourselves, at the center of our being. Teach us in the careless, casual moments when we do not ask to be taught, and let us know that we are indeed part of the mystery. Now, Glenn will lead us in our sung meditation.
The words to the meditation are in your order of service. We'll sing it through twice in unison. There is a love holding me, and then the second time, the word in parentheses, there is a love holding us. And then we'll do it twice more as a two-part round.
The director of religious education at my home congregation in Nashville had a tradition that I have continued of sharing a Hebrew or Christian Bible story once a month. Now, this is not because those stories are more important or better than any other wonderful wisdom stories, but because it's important for us to be literate, to be aware of the stories and the language that a lot of our neighbors speak. So whether or not you resonate with the Hebrew and Christian Bible, I invite you to be open to whatever wisdom it may have for you this morning. A couple thousand years ago in Egypt, a young man named Moses lived. He was a Hebrew adoptee in the Egyptian royal house. One day, he went out to his enslaved Hebrew kinsfolk to witness their labors. He saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew slave. He looked around, and seeing no one, he killed the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. But the word got around, and when Pharaoh heard about it, he sought to kill Moses. So Moses ran away to the land of Midian and became a shepherd. One day, years later, Moses was leading his sheep into the wilderness to the mountain Horeb. Suddenly, part of the one which exists appeared, as a flame of fire in a bush. Moses watched and saw that though the bush was burning and burning, it didn't burn up. Out of the fire, a voice called, "Moses, Moses." And Moses answered, "I'm here." The voice said, "Don't come closer. Remove your sandals from your feet, for this earth you stand upon is sacred." Moses did so. "I am," said the voice, "the God of your ancestors." Even though Moses had been looking at the fire, he suddenly turned away, afraid to look directly at a god. The God continued, "I have seen the plight of my people in Egypt. I have heard their outcry because of their enslavement. I am aware of their suffering. I have come to rescue them and bring them to a good and spacious land, flowing with milk and honey, where people are already living, the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. The cry of the Israelites has reached me, and I have seen how the Egyptians oppress them. So I will send you to Pharaoh, and you shall free my people, the Israelites, from Egypt." But Moses said, "Who am I that I should do this? I'm just a shepherd." The God to that question replied simply, "I will be with you." Moses asked, "Okay, when I tell the Israelites that the God of their ancestors sent me, what should I say your name is?" Because a lot of the gods in the area at that time had names. The God said, "Eye, Asher, Eye. I am. What was, what is, and what will be. So tell the Israelites that Yahweh, the one which exists, the God of their ancestors, sent you." Yahweh said, "This shall be my name forever. This shall be my title for all eternity. I am."
Freely have we received gifts that minister to our needs of body and spirit. Gladly we bring a portion to our church and its wide concerns. If you wish to donate online or electronically, the information is on the church's website or in your order of service. There's a QR code on the back. Also, if you're making a checkout for Share the Plate this morning, please put STP in the memo line. May we receive this morning's offering.
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who gather round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love.
I am so grateful to be with you all on a morning when your wonderful a cappella trio Luminescence is singing with us. Can we give them a round of applause? What a treat. And we didn't coordinate these songs. They just happened to fit really well. I mean, amazing. Serendipity, we love it. At the beginning and heart of every religion, there is an epiphany. A person, usually while alone in nature, has a flash of insight that fundamentally changes them and eventually the world around them. Moses and the burning bush, Jesus in the desert, Buddha under the tree, pagans, period. Unitarian Universalists affirm 6 sources of wisdom, and this is our very first. The direct experience of transcending mystery and wonder, affirmed in all cultures, which moves us to a renewal of the spirit and an openness to the forces which create and uphold life. End quote. These moments of direct experience are in fact humanity's primary sources of wisdom, upon which all other sacred texts and wisdom traditions are built. And the beauty is that every single one of us can and probably does experience these transcendent moments every once in a while. A German writer named Malvida von Meisenbug wrote about hers once. I was alone upon the seashore as all these thoughts flowed over me, liberation and reconciling. I was impelled to kneel down, this time before the illimitable ocean, symbol of the infinite. I felt that I prayed as I had never prayed before, and knew now what prayer really is. A return from the solitude of individuation into the consciousness of unity with all that is. To kneel down as one who passes away, and to rise up as one imperishable. Earth, heaven, and sea resounded as in one vast, world-encircling harmony. End quote. We can all encounter moments of feeling connected to something much bigger than ourselves. Holding a newborn, the wonder of new life and the echo of ancestors. Looking at the stars, feeling small but so alive in the vast space. Meditating, sitting in the moment and watching your breath change you every second. Eating a vegetable that you worked so hard to grow, which always tastes much better. Watching the birds, swimming in the ocean, dancing at a concert with hundreds of strangers, cuddling a beloved pet and recognizing that species can love each other across our boundaries. Climbing a mountain, having great sex, hearing the perfect chord in a harmony, looking at the generations gathered together at a family reunion. All these and more are moments in which we directly experience transcending mystery and wonder, which renews our spirits and opens us to the forces which create and uphold life. While moments of wonder are easier to recognize in idyllic natural settings, this isn't a requirement. I had the joy of visiting the Atlantic Ocean on the east coast of North Carolina this weekend, and I'll tell you, you feel that transcendent mystery and wonder, but it really can happen anywhere. My first epiphany, which started me on this spiritual journey to become a UU minister, happened at a gas station in Texas while looking at a smartphone screen. It was not very scenic. But that's just it. I had a spontaneous moment of awakening and felt connected with all that is. Nature is not just forest and seaside, but the entire material universe. Our new UUA president, Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt, wrote a wonderful paper some years ago called Between Dishwater and the River. In it, she writes about, quote, an eco-womanist ethic that builds on the historic importance of the wilderness while still maintaining that any place where a Black woman finds herself is a site of potential glory that is worthy of protection, end quote. This perspective does not offer judgments about the morality of the human-built world, nor hold it up as any more or less holy than anywhere else. Rather, it pushes me, at least, to accept that even the painful, broken, ugly, toxic parts of existence, and myself, are simply part of the whole. It reminds me that human structures and cities are not somehow separate from nature, but they can be more or less upholding of the forces of life. Wherever we are, countless spectacular moments are available to us, within reach of each of us. But we have to be ready to receive them. When these moments occur, we really have to pay attention. Pause, listen, receive, and feel. The direct experience of transcending mystery and wonder is accessible in any given moment, but only in the present moment, not the past or future in our minds. As fondly as I hold the memory of my epiphany, it's not the same as the actual experience itself. So we have to be ready. We have to practice being present so when these moments cross our paths, we notice them. In our wisdom story, Moses was astonished by a bush and a flame. He paused. He turned away from his day job, took off his shoes, and let a small, mysterious phenomenon change his life. Our first source tells us that the direct experience of transcending mystery and wonder is affirmed in all cultures. Judaism and Islam follow the cycles of the moon. Pagans, Christians, indigenous Americans, both north and south, have always loved the solstices and equinoxes. The Shinto religion in Japan loves its nature spirits. I would go so far to say that almost all people take note of the seasons in some form or another. And that's because these natural phenomenon aren't matters of opinion. They're not even really facts, they just are. They're undeniable. As I'm sure you know by now, there are so few things that most or all of our cultures can agree on. We still can't even agree on whether the earth is round. Don't get me started. But the moments of peace, when we touch cool, clean water, the warmth of the sun on our skin, the awe of the vast universe above us at night, these at least we share by default, whether we like it or not. Of course, the tricky part comes because we can draw different meanings from these events. Some might think that an eclipse is an exciting scientific occurrence. We put on our little sunglasses and we look up and all the kids have a great time. But a lot of cultures throughout our history who didn't know what was going on thought it was a terrible omen of their gods being furious with them. The meanings that we draw from these natural events vary. The director of religious education at my home congregation taught me that each of our 6 sources has a clause with the word which. So for UUs, we don't just lift up any old moment of wonder. Someone could interpret a violent nightmare as a message from their God and use it to justify harming others. we don't affirm those. Instead, we specifically treasure those direct experiences which move us to a renewal of the spirit and an openness to the forces that create and uphold life. We specifically choose renewal, spirit, openness, and capital L life. No one individual life, no one individual species, but all of the ecosystem of life. Starhawk, the beloved American pagan leader, shares a breath meditation to remind us of our connection across time and species. She writes, "The air is a gift of the early ancestors. What you breathe in this moment, originated billions of years ago. This air passed through the lungs of dinosaurs and mammoths and the earliest human beings. Just breathe in, taking in the creative power of the ancestors, of life, asking that power to infuse you." End quote. Native American author Robin Wall Kimmerer shares how even small everyday actions can become sacred when we recognize the connection they foster. She writes, "My mother had her own more pragmatic ritual of respect, the translation of reverence and intention into action. Before we paddled away from any camping place, she made us kids scour the place to make sure that it was the way we found it. We also had to leave wood for the next person's fire, with tinder and kindling carefully sheltered from the rain by a piece of birch bark. I like to imagine their pleasure, those other paddlers, arriving after dark, tired and ready for bed, to find a ready pile of fuel to warm their evening meal. My mother's little ceremony connected us to them too." End quote. Practices like these, which invite wonder and oneness, help remind us of the true nature of reality. They can stir us to support the forces of life, beauty, and creation, as well as to resist the forces of cruelty and unnecessary destruction. Henry David Thoreau, a Unitarian, made a connection with transcendentalism and social activism in his book On the Duty of Civil Resistance. For Henry, this was kind of a solo idea. He refused to pay his taxes, he got in a little bit of trouble, but it didn't really spark a movement over in Boston. But the book was eventually read by Mohandas Gandhi during his first period of incarceration and helped inspire his nonviolent strategy of the Indian movement to break free of the British Empire. Gandhi eventually met the Black civil rights leaders Howard Thurman and James Lawson, who brought the idea of spiritually rooted nonviolent resistance back to America and taught a generation of leaders like Bayard Rustin and Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. These spiritual and political matters are intimately linked. If we directly experience the transcendent connectedness of life, how can we wish pain on another living being? If we know our lives to be interdependent, how can we allow others to be harmed and do nothing? And as many religious and political leaders have shown us, there are even some transcendent causes worth putting our life on the line for. There are some moments where we might put our body in front of another and with no weapon in our hands and no harm in our hearts, simply say, "You're going to have to go through me." Those moments of sacrifice are some of the holiest stories across cultures. They are the moments in the blockbuster movies when the hero shows up. It's a level of spiritual depth in which we might risk our lives to resist harm without wishing to cause more of it ourselves. When the empire thought Jesus was leading a rebellion, but he allowed himself to be captured and killed instead. When Martin Luther King Jr. received threat after threat after threat, but still showed up in Memphis, Tennessee to support the sanitation workers' strike. When the suffragettes went on a hunger strike in prison because they valued the votes of women more than their individual lives. when a pacifist Quaker named Desmond Doss refused to pick up a gun, but joined the Army to become a medic instead. When a parent risks their life to give birth to a child. These are the moments of transcending mystery and wonder, which renew the spirit and open us to the forces which create and uphold life. The people who wrote the previous versions of the UU 7 principles and 6 sources left us a beautiful gift. We treasure those gifts as we treasure, rather than fear, the inevitable changes that are part of existence. In the new Article 2 draft, this source of direct experience has been preserved. In the very first lines of the new Inspirations section, it reads, "Direct experiences of transcending mystery and wonder are primary sources for Unitarian Universalist inspiration. These experiences open our hearts, renew our spirits, and transform our lives." End quote. We UUs appreciate many sources of wisdom, from ancient texts to the guidance of sages and scientists. Yet, it is significant that our primary source is one that is accessible and indeed ever present in all of our lives. No priest is needed for you to personally experience transcendent wonder, although we are happy to help. No month-long meditation retreat that you have to pay $500 for. No ayahuasca or shrooms. Those definitely do help, though. These all can help us get there, but they aren't necessary. All that's necessary is that we be present, that we be open, that we recognize beauty and wonder when we sense it, and that we allow ourselves to be moved by that wonder to action on the side of life and love. May it be so. Now I invite you to rise in body and spirit and join me in singing hymn number 77 in our gray hymnal, "Seek Not Afar for Beauty." Hymn number 77.
Would you please join me in reading the words for extinguishing the chalice? We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Now, as you're comfortable, either cross your arms, or if you want to hold hands with the person next to you, hold your hands out as we sing our final song, Shalom.
We'll meet again.
Thank you.